Not many things can give the same thrill as digging into a mountain with your footwear, dangling on a rope as you stab your knife repeatedly into rocks. Even fewer things can make you feel as comfortable as climbing a mountain while in North Face climbing gear. But what exactly makes their gear so special? And how are they able to replicate the success of their quality climbing gear across all their fashion outlets? Good question. In today's video, we explore the long but uniquely interesting story of none other than the North Face Clothing Company. The company, which is now a subsidiary of VF Corporation, originally started as a retailer of climbing and camping equipment. 58 years later, it has become more well known for being a streetwear brand. The North Face was not always the famous fashion outfit you see today, and the founders probably never envisioned the business becoming so big when they started their small shop in San Francisco. So, how did the company do it? By the end of this video, you will know everything about the history of the North Face, which strangely involves blues rock bands and advertising scandals amid its continuous evolution in the world of fashion. Sit back as we take you through the unusual rise of the North Face and how they have gone from only selling climbing gear to a new line of business, dominating the fashion industry. Before we get into it, a quick reminder that today's video is sponsored by Sky is the Limit, your sure brand for the best quality sneakers. In 1964, Douglas and Susie Tompkins started a shop in San Francisco with a loan of $5,000 shortly after getting married. They called their shop the North Face, inspired by the tough and extreme mountainsides close to North Beach where the shop was located. The couple were both hiking enthusiasts, so they sold rock climbing and camping equipment like tents, which Douglas designed himself. His tents were remarkable and innovative at that time because he was one of the first people to move away from the standard style of using poles in the middle to hold the tent. His designs, which have now become widely copied, used bendable rods threaded through exterior sleeves instead, which also increased the strength and durability of the tent. However, their business experienced a slow start. By 1965, they had barely made any profit, despite Douglas peddling their merchandise around the neighborhood with the help of his friend Yvon Chouinard. However, he sensed that outdoor travel was getting more and more popular, so he invested the remaining cash they had in stocking the store with innovative gear. The investment paid off soon enough. The shop started to rein in more customers through word-of-mouth recommendations from their repeat customers, and the North Face became well known in the area. The time had come for expansion, so the couple moved their shop across the bay to the basement of a Swiss ski shop. However, there was a challenge. Although business had started booming for Douglas and Susie, they still did not have enough money for any sort of large-scale marketing. Doug's solution to this was to plan a wild stunt that involved one of his friends climbing down San Francisco's Pacific National Bank building with a 600-foot rope and stopping to drink coffee on the 6th floor. The stunt was a success for the business, earning them a feature story in the San Francisco Chronicle. The North Face gained more publicity thanks to Douglas and his daring exploits. It launched its first official store in October 1966, marking the official beginning of the business as a clothing and outdoor gear store. At the store's grand opening, Douglas hosted a big party. The rock band The Grateful Dead performed a set at the party, and the crowd was so big that Douglas had to hire a motorcycle gang for security. Upon launching their new store, the couple's goal was to provide high-end climbing and backpacking equipment and outdoor apparel to local mountaineers. They were highly successful, and shortly after, in November 1967, they opened their second store near Stanford University. Again, they celebrated by booking the Steve Miller Blues Band and blues singer Jesse Fuller to perform at the opening of the store. Douglas felt like he had achieved what he could with the North Face, and he had his eyes set elsewhere. So, he sold his stake at the North Face to Kenneth Klopp in 1967 and co-founded another fashion house with his wife. After Douglas and Susie Tompkins left the company, they co-founded Plain Jane, which would later become Esprit in 1968, along with one of Susie's friends. Douglas also decided to try his hands in adventure filmmaking. The North Face brand was taken over by Kenneth Klopp, popularly known as Hap. Klopp ran the company for the next 20 years, ushering in a period of great growth for the business. In 1969, the company launched the Ruth Sack, known as the first solution for carrying bulky gear. The iconic half-dome logo was designed in 1971 by David Alcorn. They soon ventured into wholesale and manufacturing in the 70s to grow the business's profits. They began experimenting with more complex designs as time went on, bringing innovation to the industry. One of the company's innovative feats came when it launched the geodesic dome tent in 1975. The gear and equipment the North Face produced were trend-setting in the industry. Creating the geodesic dome tent marked the beginning of creating ski gear for extreme conditions. In the following decade, the company designed most of its most popular products, most notably the Mountain Gore-Tex jacket. By the late 80s, the North Face was the only company that manufactured high-performance apparel and equipment for backpacking, skiing, and mountaineering in the U.S. In the early 90s, the company started to expand beyond outdoor enthusiasts, and their Nuptse puffer jackets became a hit in street couture due to the growing popularity of hip-hop music. Many rappers wore the jackets, including the Notorious B.I.G. and the Wu-Tang Clan. Since then, the brand has remained relevant in the world of streetwear fashion. In fact, the company recently had a brief partnership with Apple and was modeled by Drake. Despite the success the North Face saw in the 80s, there were questionable internal decisions which backfired on the company, resulting in a difficult period in the later part of the 20th century. The issue started with the company trying to manufacture all its products during its growth period in the 80s. On the surface, it seemed like a good decision because there was high demand for their products. However, the decision eventually caused them to have a lot of obsolete materials in their inventory. And they also started to get a reputation for making late deliveries. The company attempted to handle this issue by opening outlet stores to sell excess products at lower prices. But this decision damaged the company's reputation even more. Customers started to lose trust in the brand, and it led to financial troubles for the company. Things got worse for the company in 1999, while James Fifield was the CEO. Fifield had already reached an agreement with a merchant bank to take the company private for $17 a share. But the plans failed due to allegations of falsified financial results by executives. Fifield resigned as CEO in the aftermath, and the company was on the brink of bankruptcy, having reported a net loss of $100 million in the following year. We'll tell you how the North Face saved their situation and made a comeback in the industry. But first, we want to help you up your style with Sky is the Limit, a one-stop brand for high-end quality sneakers. You can get yours by visiting the Sky is the Limit website through the link in the description box below to shop from the finest selection of sneakers tailored to your taste. The North Face was hit hard by the unfortunate events of the late 90s. The company was in huge debt. In fact, a company representative went on record saying that the company doubted its ability to stay in business and may have to file for bankruptcy. However, in came VF Corporation to save the day. The global apparel and footwear conglomerate acquired the North Face as a subsidiary in 2000 for $25.4 million, also clearing the company's entire debt. As a result, North Face joined an extensive list of brands owned by VF Corporation, including Timberland and Vans. Now infused with cash from the VF Corporation, North Face started making efforts to expand its influence in fashion by creating partnerships with other fashion brands in the 2000s. The company's goal for the near future was to modernize its designs by combining the aesthetic of outdoor functionality with the luxury fashion. To this effect, they collaborated with outfits like Gucci, Supreme, Comme des Garçons, and designers like Junya Watanabe and Brain Dead. In 2009, The North Face filed a trademark infringement lawsuit against a teenager from Missouri named Jimmy Winkleman. The 18-year-old and his father had created the South Butt, a clothing company that parodied the name, logo, and tagline of the North Face. The company first sent a cease and desist request, but Winkleman had no intention to comply with it, saying that his business posed no threat to the North Face. However, they would later reach a closed settlement agreement in 2010. After violating the settlement agreement, another court judgment mandated Winkleman and his father to pay $65,000, the amount reduced by $1,000 for every month of compliance. 10 years later, in 2019, the North Face received public backlash when they tried to scam Wikipedia in an advertising scandal. Seeming to want to draw inspiration from the days of Douglas Tompkins, the company and the Leo Burnett tailor-made advertising agency hatched a scheme to rank their products at the top of Google image searches. In a promotional video, they bragged that they had hacked search results by traveling to popular tourist destinations to take pictures featuring its products and then swapping out the original Wikipedia pictures for their own. This stunt violated Wikipedia's terms of use, and the company was heavily criticized on social media. Wikipedia's volunteer editors also removed all the pictures and reported the user accounts. Another event in July 2022 saw almost 200,000 customer accounts compromised in a credential stuffing attack against the company's website. The company noticed unusual activity on the website and notified its customers of a large-scale cyber attack, which led to hackers stealing customers' email addresses, passwords, and some of the personal information stored on their accounts. Luckily, the hackers could not steal any money from the customers, as their payment details were not stored on the website. Despite the recent financial challenges of the VF Corporation in the last decade, the North Face appears to have turned its fortunes around since it almost fell apart in 1999. The company has been able to sustain itself, and it has now expanded into multiple stores, providing top-of-the-line quality products all over the world. The brand's worth has grown exponentially from the $25 million it was bought for at the turn of the century. In 2016, the North Face products averaged $2.3 billion in sales. Recently, the company has intensified its efforts to connect with its customers by practicing corporate social responsibility and sustainability in making its products. In addition to using recycled and environmentally friendly materials for making new products, the brand also supports causes like climate change and preservation of natural resources. The company also regularly partners with nonprofits and community organizations to help support local communities. In 2019, the North Face opened a new store in the Soho neighborhood in Manhattan as part of its plans to refresh its global retail strategy, which also involved transforming its existing locations. The strategy is based on the premise of creating an immersive environment for customers and making the retail outlets feel more like the brand and less like a store. That is it from us, folks. As always, we would like to read your thoughts in the comments section below. Tell us what you think of the North Face and where you see them in the near future. Do you now know why they are the best brand for mountain climbers? If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on other videos like this when they drop. And remember, sky is the limit.